Good evening and welcome to Wheelybins TV for the Wheelybins Mayhem Republic for the 2018 Retro Sprint Series. Tonight we're at Okayama International Race Circuit for race number 1 and 2 of round 3 tonight of the Retro Sprint Series. It's going to be a big night. It's a tight short track around here. We're on a morning session. It's a morning race. There's a little bit of fog still hanging around from the weather, but I'm expecting that to burn off a little bit later on in tonight's session, so make sure you stick around for that. Joining me in the commentary box tonight, we got Matt Norris. Welcome once again, Matt. As Matt seems to be having a little bit of a problem. We'll come back to Matt a little bit later on when he joins us here in the commentary box again. Big thank you to our sponsors for helping us out for this event, the 2018 Sprint Series. This is round number 3 with Ryno Hire. Big thank you to them. Limelight Motorsport, Park Lane Jewellry with Kirrilee, and End Mazda. Thanks to those guys for helping us out. It's fantastic to have them on board here for this series for the Wheelybins Mayhem Republic, so we welcome them here. We're joining the session at the moment in the... I'm just finding the right scene here. We're joining the session here in qualifying. There's only another 6 minutes remaining of the qualifying session, and then we will be moving into a 15 lap sprint race here tonight, and then we're doing a hot switch over into another server for another race here around Okayama. So it makes it a two races here tonight for round number 3. Thank you for joining us. If you are there on the YouTube, don't forget to say hello in the chat. Big thank you for joining us, and we hope you enjoy tonight's broadcast. We'll have a little bit of a look at the top 10 of the drivers out on the track at the moment. There's been a fair bit of action heated in practice and some more action out there in qualifying. At the top there though, the man who's been dominant all the series so far, Harley Haber, with a 128.8. Jamie McKnight, who's clipping on the heels and looking for some more points tonight to dominate this series, is a 128.9 in number 2. Brian Borg there in number 3. Big welcome to him for joining the series with a 129.4. Bradley Ratu there, 129.6. Eugene in number 5 tonight. Jackson there in 6. Michael Hammond in 7. Cameron Posey there in number 8. Number 9, Jackson Harlow. And number 10, the Chief, Shane Evans. Having a look at some of the cars out on track at the moment. There's a few people out there doing some hot laps. Jamie McKnight is supposedly one of them, as I just flip over the camera views to him. And things want to work. Our bugs. Got some bugs here tonight, but we'll get things sorted anyway. Jamie McKnight there in the End Mazda sponsored FG Falcon. Of course, the Retro Series is all about running the older model of V8 supercar here in iRacing. There's a little bit of parity amongst the cars. There's almost always been a fun car to drive too. It encourages some really close racing, and that's what we've seen for the past 2 rounds here of this series, is some really close racing, so that's great to see. Bradley Ratu also out on track, sitting in number 4 at the moment. Eugene Blurton in the Wilson Security Lucky 7 Falcon tonight, number 5. Ah, we've got you back again there, Matt. Matt, welcome to the comms box, mate. You're back again.
Thanks, Dan. Hit a button, thought I killed everything, so I'm back. And let's get on with race 3.
Great to have you. I wondered where you toddled off to there right at the core moment.
It didn't look too good, did it?
That was all right. We covered for you. It was all good. Yeah, so welcome to the comms box once again. Of course, it's been a little bit since you've been in here because it's been, you know, different stream times, and also you were unavailable for the first one. We had Tyson step in for you, but great to have you back.
Yeah, it's great to be back, Dan. I was over in Perth at the Barbagallo round of the V8s for the first one of this, but I was able to hotspot my phone and tune into the race. It was really exciting to watch. And then last week I was able to join the race myself at Monza, so really looking forward to getting cracking on race 3 here and seeing everything at Okayama and how it all goes down.
Yeah, it should be a good night of racing. It's a tight little track around here, and with lap times around the 128 to 130s, everyone's going to be quite bunched up. And I suspect there probably will be traffic in play as well for some of these races tonight.
Especially with that lucky draw for the grid in our second race, that should definitely spice up the racing and mean that people are going to have to work hard to get passes done and move forward.
Yeah, you look at the top 10 there in the top times, they're just barely a second so separating the top 10, so it's going to be very close, and probably only a second separating the rest of the field as well, actually. So it's going to be real tight racing here tonight, and it's a difficult track to get right, especially in this car. They can get quite loose in the rear end, so the setup is key, but also looking after your tyres and making sure you can survive their 15-lap sprint race.
Yeah, the cars are really hard to get working around this circuit with some of the undulation. The newer V8 has a bit more rear grip over this one, so this one got to light up the rear and get it moving a lot more, so it's a bit more uncomfortable. But I'm sure our drivers are coming to terms with that. Like you said, they're all within a second of each other up the front there, so not too much to worry about.
A minute 20 remaining here in this qualifying session. The cars that are out on track at the moment will come around for one last shot to put down a qualifying time tonight. Very important to get a good qualifying time, get a good start. 15 laps here, so you want to be up the grid, get yourself a good position and a good finish. And then it is a random grid for race number 2, so randomised for race number 2 makes it exciting. Something different.
Definitely makes it tricky. You've got to really get the luck on your side to get a good grid position in that one, but using your strategy, you should be able to move yourself up the grid.
Yeah, and some bonus points on offer for the championship tonight as well. If you manage to finish the race in race number 2, that's where the bonus points come in. There'll be 2 people chosen at random, and they'll get 10 bonus points added to their totals for the championship. So it comes in quite a bit of play, especially towards the end of this series. It's a 6-round series, so at the end of the rounds it can make up a big difference as to whether you're first or second.
And that's the thing, we see most championships it only comes down to a couple of points, so you know, every point's vital.
Qualifying counter just counting down there to 0. These guys will be able to finish off their laps, and we'll hit the grid here for the 2018 Retro Sprint Series hosted by the Wheelybins Mayhem Republic. If you want some more info, head on over to our website, wheelybinsmayhemrepublic.com. You'll find some information on this current series, plus our other series that's running at the moment, the GT3 series, which is in hiatus while this series is taking part, and round 2 will be back once this series is over in about next month. Well, this month's almost over, probably in the start of July, I think it is. We kick off with the second round of the GT3 series.
Yeah, I haven't checked the timetable, and I'm pretty sure you're right there, Dan. It's somewhere after this one is over, and there's a few more races of this one to get through yet. Have a look through the field and see if anyone's still on that last flying lap.
I was actually trying to find the current championship points. I'm just trying to find the link at the moment. Got to give you a bit of a head up. I know that Harley was the leader last time I did look for the championship
I can tell
points.
you he's 10th.
Well, that's better than nothing.
Well, yours truly is 10th.
Well, good effort there.
After last week. I think teammate Chris Kessie, he's up in 3rd. So good represent. I think Eugene, he's equal on points with Eugene Burton.
Yeah, that's good. It's been a tough series for some guys, and Harley got a big skip away last round. I think it was a double points round, so taking the win there gave him a little bit of a skip away in the points.
Yeah, absolutely. The double points are definitely going to mix it up as we progress through the championship.
Yeah, well, the next round for double points is the last round of this series at Bathurst, so we'll have a double point round again for the first race. It's basically because we're going to go a reverse grid setup, so we can't have people fixing the grid. So if we have a double points for the first race of the night, the guys are still going to want to perform well to get those championship points, even if it means sacrificing grid position towards the for the second race. Having a look at the top 10 qualifiers out there as they're hitting the grid, it's Harley Haber there on number 1, Jamie McKnight, Brian Borg in number 3, number 4, Bradley Ratu, number 5, Eugene Blurton, number 6, Jackson, number 7, Michael Hammond, number 8, Kyle Stokes, Cameron Posey in number 9, and Jackson Harlow rounding out the number 10. So Harley's going to be looking to score himself a trifecta here tonight with the West End Mazda Pole Position Award. So providing he completes race number 2 tonight, he will bag himself another $10 worth of iRacing credits, looking for the hat trick.
Always looking for a hat trick. We'll always be looking for more points.
Yeah, for sure.
Got a few seconds before we're going green. Everyone starts to grid up and find their position on the start line. On the start grid, I should say.
A little bit of fog for these cars tonight, brings the headlights on, makes it a little bit more exciting, makes the brake lights a little harder to see also, so cooler temperatures on track.
I was in the room before and heard them talking about how with the headlights coming on and the fog, it's actually the dashes have reduced, so any drivers looking at their dash will notice will be looking extra hard to find that dash tonight.
Makes it a little bit more difficult to see.
But no doubt all of our drivers are well versed in overcoming sight issues, and they'll be fine to race on, I'm pretty sure.
See, most of the cars have joined the grid, won't be far away. The revs start to rise for the start of race number 1, round number 3. Green flag conditions, we are away. Cloud of smoke off the start, couple of cars ducking out of the way. Good clean start so far, no stalls off the mark, good to see. Into the front we see Harley's taking a strong lead so far, with Jamie McKnight also moving back in the pack. He's been
right in the lead pack, few cars running too wide.
Yeah, but reasonably clean so far, no damage. No incidents by the look. That's great to see as they all come down into this hairpin. Make sure everybody gets that braking marker just right, no rear ending. And then up the hill, careful not to wheel spin.
That's right, with the live rear axle in this car, it's got to focus on getting it right.
30 cars out in the field at the moment. Looks like most of them have made their way around so far pretty cleanly.
So to their credit, oh, we've got a spinner in the back. That's the commentator's first there, Ken.
It was, although he's managed to keep that car reasonably clean. Not too much damage, a little bit of bent front bumper. Hopefully that doesn't affect the car too much. Around for the first lap. As you see, Harley Haber has taken him down the main stretch for the lap number 1 out in front. Brian Borg in number 2, Jamie McKnight there in number 3. Harley just stepping out into the gravel there a little bit. Brian putting
a few extra tenths out there for him.
Brian's putting the pressure on early. Jacob Knight in number 6. Eugene dropping from position 5 back to number 8 off the start.
Back up the front. Looks like Brian might be putting a pass on. Oh, not quite close enough this time. Ryan looks like he's got that car really basic, really pressuring Harley in there.
He's very smooth in there behind him, isn't he? Harley's looking a little bit tail happy, but Ryan's really got that car planted.
Looks like it's working well.
Your teammate in the Flat Chat sponsored car there in position 10th so far tonight. Stunning looking car too, with the race stars on the back, Flat Chat podcast logo down the doors.
Yeah, it's a lovely looking car. Painted it myself, and Chris is representing it well, so it's always good to see Flat Chat podcast moving forward.
And any of our listeners tonight, where can they find the Flat Chat podcast there, Matt?
They can find the Flat Chat podcast on YouTube, Twitter, Stitcher, SoundCloud, iTunes. Most of our links are at the Flat Chat 1.1, and they'll find most of it. Any links there.
Awesome. So if you're interested in motorsport news, take a listen to Flat Chat.
We've got a bit of supercars, got a bit of F1, and we're delving into V8 stops in the future. So if anyone's interested in motorsport, wants to have a listen, make sure they tune in.
Back in the pack, Ian Muttley Holt in the Norton Falcon tonight, back in 15th. A little bit of a battle pack there in front of him with Michael Omeros and Mikhail. The Chief Shane Evans slotted back in position 12. Oh, just missing the back of Christopher actually, as he just got a little bit untidy. Kyle Stokes there in front of him in the better electrical Falcon. The Craig Lowndes livery in that car tonight. Awesome looking car.
Fantastic looking livery, that one. Brings back many fond memories, that livery.
Back to Frank Speed. Hot Dog in number 19 tonight. Running the Ryno Hire race it along with Brendan tonight, the team Ryno Hire. Taking a bit of a scroll through to find Brendan actually. Not too sure if he's out on track still. There he is, he's actually in 23rd. This series has actually been his brainchild. Came up with the idea a few months back. It was originally going to be an endurance series, but got changed over to a sprint series, a couple of shorter races, a little bit more incentives, plenty of great prizes on offer for this series, thanks to Ryno Hire, Limelight Motorsport, End Mazda and Park Lane Jewellry with Kirrilee. Don't forget to check out our sponsors and support them where possible if you can. They're all linked on our website, Wheelybins Mayhem, republic.com. Back up the front, Harley Haber is still leading the race. He's got a 0.7 of a second gap there over Brian Ball. Jamie McKnight there in third. He'd be wanting to push on. We're on lap number 4 of this 15-lap race already tonight.
Yeah, it's quite a small circuit, so laps can kick over quite quickly, and yeah, he's actually opened that gap up to Brian a bit, so going to be susceptible to Jamie here if he doesn't get a move on Brian, will he?
Yeah, tough contender Bradley too. He had some good fights in the GT3 series, so I'm not too sure. He may have missed a couple of these retro series, but looking to gain some points and be a contender in the championship nevertheless, just in case the leaders can't make a round. It can be good to be there with the points to make sure you can fill a gap.
Exactly right. If you can go around and accumulate points, then you're going to put yourself in with a decent shot at the title. If, like you say, the main contenders or the people running on the front happen to miss a round or don't score enough points or have an unfortunate race.
Alex Warburton, number 16, the two SP Tool cars, him and Rob Carmichael running the same liveries tonight in 15 and 16. Having a good battle, these two. Ian Holt's just up in front of them again, trying to chase these two down. Pete Davison, Pete Davo Power, Yellow Falcon. They're in 19th position. A little bit of damage done to that car. Hopefully it's not affecting his performance too much. Warren Cook, 22nd tonight. He's a bit of a master of these cars, although these guys are starting to realise the secrets of them. We were doing a Phillip Island race the other week, and Cookie was definitely very strong in these cars, so we've got a Phillip Island round coming up soon, so he's going to be one to watch because he's quick. He's been around iRacing a long time. He started racing these cars when they first come to the service, so he knows how to put them around most of these tracks quite quickly.
Yeah, that's the thing. If you've been racing these once before, they're easy to fall back into. I was one of the people who joined iRacing after this had been made, or just before this was made free content, and I found getting into it quite difficult, but it's a really different beast to race than the newer V8.
It is. It's very surprising the amount of differences that there are. Looking at Gary Hamilton on screen, he was the winner of one of our races at Giles Villeneuve, actually. Had a stellar race. A lot of the other guys took a pit stop, but he was managed to fuel save for the whole race and not take a pit stop and come away with the win. Back in 23rd tonight. He did really well.
It was definitely the best strategy call out there that night.
Huge field, still 29 cars out there in the race, and they're all still on the lead lap as well, which is great to see. David Wack there in 29th. Had a little bit of trouble with these cars, but I reckon he'll pick these up pretty quick. He's affectionately known as Stickers amongst the group.
His famous Wheelybins that he's been able to manage to get done.
Yeah, and he had a special one-off phone case the other day, which was given to one of our lucky members who had an iPhone 7, so thanks to David for that. Harley now pulling out a strong lead, 2.2 seconds in front of Brian. Jamie McKnight's hunting on the back of Brian now. He's going to want to get past lap 7 of 15. Jamie
Brian had that car in the opening laps just isn't working as much now because Jamie is all over it.
Yeah, difference in setup, so they're not taking tyres or fuel this race. It is a true sprint race, so tyre longevity throughout the race is a big deal towards the end of the race as the car fuel load starts to lighten up, the tyres start to go away. You really need to have that suspension set up to work at that later point of the race, which can be a big advantage.
Yeah, and it's interesting to note how many of these guys would have done runs on a full fuel load and run it out, or how many just would have tried to get a decent lap in.
Cameron Posey and Jacob Knight there fighting for positions 5 and 6. Eugene Burton and the Chief in positions 10 and 11.
One of the benefits, I think, of this retro series is that there are a few battle packs throughout the field, and it's really hard to keep your eye on one of them.
It is, there's action everywhere. It's not just at the front, it's the mid-pack runners too. Great time, some great racing.
It's
Great.
a great car too. I don't think it's truly respectful racing community, and I think this one of the series is so brilliant because it's a difficult car to drive, so if you drive it well and you get a decent result out of it, you feel really good.
And I think driving it actually can improve you as a driver overall for other vehicles as well. Sometimes the way the car handles, and it's probably sometimes lack of traction and it's a little bit understeery and things like that, can improve your driving style in other vehicles too.
Absolutely, we see it in the real world with Shane Gisbergen all the time. He's always driving different cars, and his results on track tend to show that he's an ace in anything he drives. So it will definitely help to drive something different and learn as you go.
Shane still hunting on the back of Eugene there for positions 8, 9 and 10. Kyle Stokes there on the back bumper too. Ian Holtz moved up a couple of positions to number 12.
Made some strong games Ian tonight. Rob Rockwell's also.
Just see Wade Michael actually has just had a Had a bit of a spin coming out of, I'm not too sure that section of the track. I think that is, the name has just eluded me, but a little bit too much right foot. Put that car around.
Like up near McKnight corner.
Yeah, as I was doing a few drives and supposedly learning the names of the corners of this track this afternoon, there's a McKnight corner, not the Jamie McKnight corner.
No doubt he'll claim it as his own, won't he?
He probably will, and really original last corner and first corner names on this track. Speaking of Jamie...
I think that's one of the good things. If you've got a good circuit, don't overtake that names. Everyone knows which the last and first corner are.
Well, that's right. There's nothing wrong with calling it the last corner and the first corner. As we see Jamie McKnight going around Mike Knight corner onto the last corner and down the main straight. He's made the pass pace Brian Borg. Now on the chase of Harley. He's got 3.8 seconds to gain. He's got 5 laps to do it in.
If there's anyone who can go and chase down Harley in this car, remember Jamie won our race last week out at Monza. I think it was second. And these two were quite competitive there as well, so Jamie's the man to be chasing Harley right now.
Yeah, he's a tough competitor, and he races in lots of different series too, from the Scops races. I'm pretty sure he's a keen GT3 racer as well in some of their series, and does well in many of them. Was doing exceptionally well in our GT3 series too, so watch out for him in part 2 of that. And I think he's really enjoying the drive of these older Falcons too. Mentioning the other day, something a little bit different, better than the current V8 supercar. Good to see some competitiveness between the cars. Look at Harley Haber now, just starting to catch up onto some of lap traffic. That lap traffic there is Brendan Ryan, who's been in for a pit stop with that vehicle, maybe to get some damage repaired. We're starting to slow and hinder that car.
That's the thing, Harley want to clear him pretty quickly, because otherwise he may hold him up for these last 4 laps and he's got to defend against Jamie.
Yeah, we watch Brendan step over to the right hand side of the straight there. Harley goes past. Good time to catch him actually on that main straight. Get a clean pass. Now start to put some time and a bit of an air gap in between the two, which has got 4.1 seconds now between him and Jamie. Some of the time starting to drop away. These guys are only doing 130s now with their last lap. Some of the best laps, 131s, best laps down around 129. So times are starting to slip away by about a second this later part of this race.
Yeah, that's the thing. Only doing 15 laps. There's no pit stops, no taking on fuel. It's just, as you were saying before, run this race as a sprint.
Jacob Knight in 5th. Cameron Posey still right behind him. These two fighting it out. Had some good battles in past races too, these two. Bingley and the Fujitsu car. Jackson Harlow, a bit of an air gap all around him at the moment. Got 6 seconds up the road before to get to Cameron, and 2.5 seconds behind to Eugene. Kind of running his own race at the moment. Christopher back in 11th. Got Ian Holt on his tail in number 12. Speaking of people being on your tail, Mikhail is out there in the Irwin Tools car tonight, and he's on the tail of Thomas Freeman.
It's quite a really little battle pack they've got going there.
Oh, it's big damage. Pete Davo just runs up the back of Frank's Speed there. There's a little bit of argy-bargy. We'll get a bit of a replay of that corner. A bit of a push onto Rob Carmichael, I think it was, as Greg Hamilton snuck through. Bit of a brake application, and Pete had nowhere to go but up the backside of the hot dog. Jackson. Yeah, Jackson leading this battle pack at the moment ahead of Rob Carmichael. Gary Hamilton looking at making the pass on Rob. A little bit wide on that corner, lost some pace, roamed to the corner. I'm thinking we're going to...
Licking his lips at this, just sort of driving away from that battle pack. He's got a bit of buffer there.
Well, as we see Rob Carmichael to an overprotective line coming into the Atwood bend. And just lost the rear of that, allowing Gary Hamilton sliding underneath him and gain a position.
One of the biggest problems with these cars going uphill is with control the rear end sliding out and watching like the throttle.
You can see Gary's really struggling with the understeer of that car, making it quite difficult. Although he has managed to get a bit of a gap there on Rob Freeman. Thomas Freeman right in there behind him looking for a move too.
Make that dive down really good.
McHale's moved up and sitting on the back of Pete Davison. Jane Witt back in 22nd position tonight. Wade Michael, who's had a bit of damage done to his car, a bit of an unfortunate spin earlier on, back to 22nd. Brendan McCarthy there in 23rd. Jason Brown in 24.
Thomas Freeman's got the pass done. Well done.
Down the main straight and get that done on the first corner. Nice pass down the inside. Like Pete Davison was going to look for a bit of an edge there as well, but Rob was able to close that door.
Looked like he was going to lose that spot to McHale if he wasn't too careful.
As you see Thomas step out wide again. Rob Carmichael get the drive off the inside of that corner. Be a run down into the hairpin. McHale stepped down to the inside of Pete Davison.
It.
Lap number 14, they don't have much time to get these positions sorted out. A little right-left combination is really hard to change your lines mid-corners.
Exactly right, you sort of got to go in there knowing where you want to be at the end of that sequence.
Yeah, you don't want to come out door to door. You want to be able to get that pass done mid-corner so you've got clear air to change for the next, get on the inside for the next turn. Harley's walked away again with this race tonight, 5.6 seconds ahead of Jamie McKnight. Jamie hasn't been able to close that gap after getting past Brian. I'm thinking the rear tyres on that Falcon have gone. There's a lot of wheel spin happening with these vehicles tonight.
He was able to clear Brian, but he hasn't really done much with that gap he's obtained. He hasn't really closed down the Harley, unfortunately.
Well, the lap times have really dropped away. Down the main straight, ready to start lap number 15. A couple of cars coming out of the pits. Hopefully they don't give too much trouble. Battle pack from earlier on. Shane's managed, he's dropped away a little bit from Eugene, but now he's got I think it's, no, that's a lap car in behind him at the moment. Oh, as we think we see Cookie just take the wall out there. Harley's managed to close it, clear those couple of lap cars. Taking it easy.
Right now.
Yeah, another good points gain for him.
third.
Race winner there, Harley Haber, takes out number 1 for race number 1. Congratulations to him from pole to pole basically for the race. So interesting to see what position he gets in the random grid for the next race. That'll spice things up a little bit. Taking a look at the top 10 for tonight's race. Harley there in number 1. Jamie McKnight gets the number 2 position away from Brian Borg, who's in number 3. Bradley Ratu in number 4. Jacob Knight 5. 6 position Cameron Posey. 7 Jackson Harlow. Eugene Burton in number 8. Shane Evans has stepped up to number 9. And Christopher Kessie rounds out the top 10 spot here tonight.
Good job for Chris.
Yeah, great effort for him. The drivers will be just calling these cars down. We'll be moving over to another session real shortly. For this race to finish, some of the guys down the back, we'll see most of them have finished the race and already exited the race.
They're all eager to get cracking on with the random grid one.
Certainly are. Great to see. Well, awesome first race there. Pretty easy for Harley, straight off the pole. Takes the number 1 position in tonight's first race. Good points haul for him. Jamie McKnight there in 2. Great race for him too. Managed to get past Brian Borg, but ran out of time there to be able to catch Harley there in the end.
Yeah, if he had been around Brian earlier, or had Brian have headed Harley earlier in that race, he would have been a different outcome. But I'm sure Jamie will be willing to crack on and get a better position at the next one.
Yeah, it was a good race anyway. I mean, some of the battles that were happening in the mid-pack that took place was really good racing, and we've seen a really uneventful, I suppose, start to the race. There wasn't too many incidents, which is good to see in these races. Everybody gets a fair race and gets to complete on their own accord without too many incidents.
Yeah, it's really good to see a race where it starts off cleanly and everyone gives everyone a bit of room and respect, and it really was a great start, one of the best I've seen for a long time.
I'm going to take a quick break here on the broadcast while we switch over service to our race 2 for round number 3 of Okayama. We've got some great things prepared for you during the break, including a hot lap done by myself, so stick around for that. Right here on Wheelybins TV tonight, hosted by the Wheelybins Mayhem Republic. You're here for the Retro Sprint Series of 2018. Stick around to the broadcast, more racing to come real soon.
Let your heart be found. I got it all figured out. Let's hear it for the rock stars and broken cars, paying for their lives with their guitars. Will you save me? Will you take me home tonight?
Welcome to the Wheelybins Hot Lap. G'day everyone, thanks for joining me for a hot lap here around Okayama. Thank you for Brendan loaning me his car, the Ryno Hire racer. Around the last bend here, we'll get a hot lap underway. It's a powered on down the straight, third gear, fourth gear. Then into the first corner, originally named for exactly what it is. Oh, a little bit wide there. Down, shifted not quite enough. Up into Williams, second gear, nice and steady, short shift third. Through the Moss S. Atwood curve. Gentle on the throttle, not too much wheel spin. Third. Good run down here, good place for a passing opportunity down here at the hairpin. On the brakes, third. Late shift to first into the hairpin. Into revolver. Nice and tight. Through Piper. Welcome to the Wheelybins Hot Lap. G'day everyone, thanks for joining me for a hot lap here around Okayama. Thank you for Brendan loaning me his car, the Ryno Hire racer. Around the last bend here, we'll get a hot lap underway. It's a powered on down the straight, third gear, fourth gear. Then into the first corner, originally named for exactly what it is. Oh, a little bit wide there. Down, shifted not quite enough. Up into Williams, second gear, nice and steady, short shift third. Through the Moss S. Atwood curve. Gentle on the throttle, not too much wheel spin. Third. Good run down here, good place for a passing opportunity down here at the hairpin. On the brakes, third. Late shift to first into the hairpin. Into revolver. Nice and tight. Through Piper. Oh, off the ground, the grass. Into Redmond. Up into Hobbs. A wheel spin. Mike Knight corner. Last corner. Pulled up. Accelerator. Run down the straight again. That's a quick lap around here at Okayama. Around about 135. The fast guys are probably doing 132s, 130s. Hope you enjoyed that lap around here. A good racetrack.
desire. Danger, danger. High voltage. When we touch, when we kiss. Danger, danger. High voltage. When we cut, when we kiss, when we touch. Danger, danger. High voltage. When we touch, and when we kiss. Danger, danger. High voltage. When we touch, when we kiss, when we touch, when we kiss. It's my desire. Don't you wanna know how we keep starting fires? It's my desire. It's my desire. Danger, danger. High voltage. When we touch, when we kiss. Danger, danger. It's high voltage. When we touch, when we kiss, when we touch. Danger, danger. High voltage. When we touch, when we kiss. Danger, danger. High voltage when we touch.
Welcome back to Wheelybins TV, where we're here at Okayama International Raceway tonight for round number 3. This is race number 2 of round number 3 tonight of the Retro Sprint Series. We thank you for joining us. We're just waiting for the server to come up at the moment. It shouldn't be too far away. Until then, we're just going to keep you entertained with a bit of a chit-chat and about things that are going on in the iRacing world, I suppose, Matt?
Yeah, absolutely, Dan. A few things coming up in the June release. It's going to spice up the iRacing world a little bit and keep people interested and races interesting.
Yeah, there was talk of possibly AI coming to iRacing in the next 12 months, so we'll be able to run on and just race the computer, I suppose, which is interesting for iRacing. It's something that they've never really talked about before.
Yeah, it's not something I'm not sure I've got an opinion on it too strongly. I like the idea of iRacing where I know I'm racing someone else around the world, be it, you know, here in Australia or someone from overseas. But racing the computer, it feels arcadey to me. I've always seen iRacing as a simulator, so something I probably don't have a fondness for, but it will be interesting to see some of those official races actually go official.
As we see, Matt just he's having issues tonight. Something's not going right. Disappeared back out of the announcer box, fell through the floor, pressed the ejector seat button, shot him through the roof, one of the two. So, yeah, he's back again in the box again. He must be having issues there, dropping out of Discord. Do apologise for this little bit of a delay in the broadcast. Just waiting for this server to come up and we'll be back on the track real soon. You're back. I just switched the mics off for a tick. I'm just loading into the server now. Hang on, look, I'm just playing background music at the moment, so it's all good. We'll just load into this server, get that sorted. Yeah. Oh, come on, don't say joining race failed. Why? Come on, let me in, let me in. Why are you saying credential check failed? Yep. Joining iRacing failed. Wowza. I know I've successfully registered. Now let me race it. Let me watch it. Yes, it's going. Thank you. Thank you for your patience. Thank you for your patience and waiting for us to get this sorted out. We're just logging into the new server now for the race setup for part 2 of tonight's round 3 of the Retro Sprint series. We've got Matt back in the box again. I'm sorry for pressing that ejection seat button, Matt, and sending you out through the roof, but glad to see you come back again.
Lucky I bring my race helmet with me everywhere, Dan. It's
I think we got.
it's good to be back in the box.
Might have got caught out and down through the trapdoor or something like that.
Yeah, I found my way back pretty quickly, and thankfully we're all sorted getting back into this session, and all our drivers are starting to filter in, so should be ready to get going soon.
Certainly should be. The server is logging in right now, which is good to see.
Now the key thing to remember for this race is that it is a random grid, so qualifying's out the window.
Yeah,
You are luck is on your side tonight.
precisely. Just have a few other things to load up because something else decided to crash. That's alright. It's all part of the process here on Wheelybins TV. Nothing's organised. We do everything on the fly and live. Makes it more realistic. I see the cars are out on track though. We're in the session. That's a good thing.
Yeah, halfway there, mate. We've got race control running our drivers through a bit of a pre-race briefing. They're all getting their eye back into the circuit. They were just on a few minutes ago, so be looking forward to getting cracking in this next race.
It's probably warmed up a little bit too, as we see that fog that we'd had earlier in the race has burnt off, and the track's probably warmed up a little bit. Different bit of a setup.
Yeah, so it was about 19 degrees earlier. It's come up to about 21 on circuits. So nice quick time should come from that kind of track condition.
Yeah, we see some good racing, and it's yeah, the random grid's really going to mix things up a little bit. But, it'll make it very exciting. Big thank you to our big thank you to our sponsors for tonight's races and for the whole series. Thank you to Ryno Hire. Check them out at their website, rhinohire.com.au. Also, big thank you to Limelight Motorsport and Park Lane Jewelry with Kirrilee. Or check her out at Facebook, Sparkle with Kiz. You can find links to on our website to our sponsors. That's Wheelybins Mayhem Republic.com. Also, a big thank you to West End Mazda, who's sponsoring our Pole Sitters Award for this series. So, right at the moment, Harley Haber, who won the pole for tonight's races, is there at the moment. He's just got to pretty much complete race 2, and he'll have $10 worth of iRacing credits for the 3rd week in a row presented to his account. So doing very well with the iRacing credits there, Harley. It's good to see.
That's the thing, if you're able to qualify on pole and then finish the races, that's a great reward to get 10 iRacing credits and further along move your account a bit further forward.
Yeah, it's good, especially when there's new content presented by iRacing. You've got some dollars up your sleeve to buy that new content, because we all know it's not expensive, but it's not that cheap either. So it's good to have some iRacing credits up your sleeve.
Yeah, it always makes it that little bit less less hurtful on the hip pocket, so it's always good to have gyros and credits when you need them. Speaking of needing them, we'll be needing them later in the year when the June build, when we get a few new tracks added to the series, to the service, so that should be rather exciting.
Yeah, there's I can't remember the name of the new track coming out, but they've released some screenshots of that, and I believe there's possibly 1 or 2 new dirt tracks coming as well, and possibly a GRC, although it may not be GRC by the time we get to it with the GRC turmoil at the moment, but that style of racing anyway.
Yeah, I know the dirt's coming. I've been mainly looking at the Bell Island Street Circuit, which is an IndyCar sort of thing, and that's down near Detroit, so that's really exciting to check that one out.
As you see, the cars starting to hit the grid now for race 2 of round number 3 here tonight on Wheelybins TV, brought to you by Wheelybins Mayhem Republic. We thank you for joining us on the YouTubes. Don't forget, if you're watching at the moment and you haven't already, press that subscribe button. Or if you're watching after the fact, subscribe and you won't miss any of our upcoming streams. We've got the rest of this series covered coming your way. We've also got some exciting news for Wheelybins TV coming up. We will be presenting a few more races on the channel, so you'll see some more of the action right here on Wheelybins TV on the YouTube channel. Looking at the grid out at the moment and see what the random grid has given us.
We got Kyle Stokes on pole, Frank Speed position 2, position 3 goes to Warren Cookie, as they're going to green. Flag's gonna drop.
Green flag.
Now.
Off the start, Kyle's got a good run around the outside there. Frank Speed keeps that P2 position. Whoa, a bit of a gaggle up there, a bit of a biff and barge.
Warren
Turn.
Put it in the fence just there, and Alex Walton's involved in that one, as we've got a few more cars coming off.
Yes.
Brendan Ryan, Wade Michael and Chris Kessie, they're all involved in that one. No good down there.
Bit of damage there off the first lap. Unfortunate for those guys. Here we see Warren Cook, actually, he didn't go into the wall. A bit of damage to that car, but sitting in position 3 at the moment. I think, no, sorry, it's position 22.
What was position 3?
Was position 3. I just got the update come through. We've just seen another car just spin out there. I think that might have been... not too sure, on my apologies. It was the Boost Juice car.
This is the kind of action that we didn't get in that first race when they all qualified themselves, seeing how the random grid creates a bit of carnage on the circuit.
I'm guessing Harley started a fair way back in the field because he's currently only in 10th position, but making his way up really quickly already on this first lap.
Benefit for Harley there is he had car speed in that last race, so he'll be using that to try and round up everyone as he finds in this race.
Kyle Stokes has scooted away with a 3-second lead so far, got out in front. This is going to be a challenging race for him to hold on to that first position. Damien McKnight's there in 3rd position, looking to get past Frank Speed.
It will be a challenging race, but the benefit for Kyle is he has that gap back to Frank, so it's a little bit easier. Jamie McKnight, who got a rather good qualifying in 9th there, is always pressing forward now, so he'll be setting it up to Kyle.
See Bradley Ratu step in underneath the hot dog as well. The Chief Shane Evans in 7th.
Keep working back. We've got Peter Davison taking a move on Cameron Folsey, taking a move on. Oh, spun, hit the wall.
A quick replay of that. Up underneath. Oh, yeah. Jacob was quite lucky to get away with that and get that car straightened up again. Out in front we see Kyle Stokes, round 4, lap number 3.
So it's a 4-second gap back to Jamie McKnight from Kyle, so he's just got to keep edging that out. And Jamie's got to try and get to him before Harley comes through the field. Up to P6 already.
Yeah, that'll be the challenge. Harley's pushing quite hard. Almost a second quicker than most of the cars out on track at the moment, so 30 lap race this one though. There will be a pit stop involved. Possible chance of a safety car. So getting to the front possibly isn't required in the first 5 laps, but it would definitely help.
With the carnage we've already seen, I think you want to be up the front as soon as possible just to get away from it all.
Yeah, for sure.
But Bradley Rasher really sticking to the back of Jamie McKnight, not really wanting to let him go too much.
No, I don't blame him. I think he had a good run there, 4th or 5th in the last race, and unfortunately Jamie and Brian were able to slip away from him a little bit, but yeah, he's wanting to stick on the back bumper and follow him through to the front with him in this race.
Yeah, he kept it clean, had a decent result, and this is the only thing he needs to do this race is just stay out the front and keep circulating. Bit of a 3-way dice down the main straight with Shane Evans.
Yeah, bit of smoke in pit lane too, as we see Brendan Ryan and Cookie getting some damages done to their cars. Some hard hits, obviously. New panels done to those vehicles.
The benefit of all the old Falcons is it can take a beating, and our drivers will be giving it one tonight.
Yeah, plenty of parts still on the wrecking yard for these cars too. These cars were made from steel, not these composite fancy panels the new cars are made from.
You can go and buy a panel from the wreckers and attach it on.
Harley's up into 5th now, hustling the back bumper of Shane Evans, dives onto the inside at the Atwood corner. Oh, sorry, through the hairpin.
There's a few too many of those on this circuit for my liking.
Yeah, through Revolver. Made the pass nice and cleanly up into 4th position now. Got 8 seconds to catch up to the leader, 3 seconds to the next car in front. Pete Davison.
I'm just going to see the lap times next time by for Jamie, see if he's closing that gap.
Pete Davison up into 7th position, got Jackson on the bumper of him. Frank Speed there in 6th after that great start, however he got swallowed a little bit by a few cars there after lap 2. But, settled out in pace now. Could have a good run from here as we see Jackson come in the inside of Pete Davison.
Jamie, the fastest of those top cars at the moment, on a 129.8.
Yeah, but
he's charging.
There's Kyle doing a 130, although Harley's done a 129.8 also.
So he has. So both of those guys from race 1 will be charging back through the field race 2, and exactly what they're doing at the minute.
Into a bit of mid-pack battling here. We've got Rob Carmichael, Cameron Posey, Craig Aspatch, Christopher Casey, who had that off in the first turn and back out on the track in 14th position with Alex Warburton behind him. Brendan Ryan, I think that's in front of him again, who would be a lap down after that pit stop. Julian Burton, not a great start for him this race, back in 19th. Mikhail in number 22, who's just had a big spin in the Irwin Tools car. Off on the grass at the moment. Bit of damage.
Not the right way to be out facing them at that.
No, he might be using the intimidation of the helmet for the oncoming cars maybe.
Scaring them off.
He's not in much of a hurry to have that car spun around either, waiting for the traffic.
Quite a dense mid-pack there, so he's probably waiting till all that clears.
Back out on track for Mikhail. Lost a lot of positions there. Jamie McKnight making some gains on Kyle, only 3 seconds behind now.
Had a spinner in the back there. Who's
I
that?
think it was Jason Brown, who was also tied up on that incident earlier on as well. Smoke coming from that car, so a bit of an oil slick. Back to the pits for repair for Jason.
Definitely looks like an engine's gone on that one. Won't be sounding or feeling too healthy at the minute.
No, not at all. 129.6 is his best lap around here, Jamie McKnight, on this track so far this session. Fast time. That was actually his last lap around here, so really put the hammer down.
You think Jamie's got a target and he's going out to acquire it right now.
The gap down to under 3 seconds.
You just see that car up the road of Kyle's getting bigger and bigger in Jamie's windscreen. Exactly what he needs.
The mid-pack battle here with Brendan McCarthy, Rob Carmichael in the SP Tools cars. Battling it out for the teammates there. Craig in behind there in 11, Thomas Freeman in the White Falcon. Christopher there in 13th, looking at this battle pack, wanting to get involved.
All the cars sort of spread out that corner there and really stayed where they were.
They did. They was sort of like a 2x2 as they went through it, and they're 2x2 again as they come up through Moss S's. And into Atwood Bend.
Chris is actually closing up onto this battle pack now, so he's probably found some pace in that flat chat car.
Yeah, these four probably slowed each other up, battling with each other those couple of corners, being cautious. Chris has had that little bit of advantage, looking up the part side of Craig there now. Makes the dive into the hairpin.
And Chris, get it done.
Nice. Craig's not able to answer back with a slip to the inside.
Clean pass, that was great.
Harley Haber now right on the tail of Bradley Ratu, looking to step up to position number 3. Lap number 8 of the race so far. 30 laps here tonight. There will be a pit stop and the chance of a safety car.
Bradley will be wise here to probably just stay in front of Harley as long as he can, and then once Harley does eventually pass him, then just to follow him as close as possible.
Yeah, possibly try and get the jump on his pit lane strategy as well, and pit that lap before and maybe get an undercut cut on him, which might put him back out in front again for the later part of the race. You see Harley come down the inside now.
Because he's got a bit too much throttle on the exit of that corner and
It was a little bit of a hairy entry too.
lights up the rear. I think Harley should probably wait for the post-race before accelerating.
You want to be a little bit gentle on those rear tyres. You do, although you will get a chance to change them. You want them to get to at least the 14-15 lap mark.
And get to your pit window before cooking them completely.
Yeah. Jamie McKnight under 2 seconds now behind Kyle. Kyle's putting down some really consistent laps. All of them have been around the 130s, the low 130s too for his lap time. So 130.8, sorry, was probably his slowest time around here so far this race. So tyres possibly going away a little bit on Kyle's car, dropped that little bit of lap speed, maybe a little bit of a mistake also. Now he's got Jamie in the rear view mirror, putting a little bit more pressure on.
Yeah, only sort of on lap 9 at the moment, but we did sort of start to see them sort of degrade around this time in the first race. So could be tyres, could be where they might want to throw a pit strategy at it to elevate them further up the grid if they can save their tyres.
Castrol car there off on the grass. Possibly Warren Cook, I think, in the Castrol car tonight.
Yes, I want to say you're right.
Slotting in behind the Chief there, who's in 5th tonight. Bit better race this time round.
No, it wasn't Warren Cook. It was the other Castrol car.
Running 2 of them tonight are getting confusing.
They need to be running individual liveries. That's my ruling for next race, Dan.
That's right. Although I don't think the Trading Paints has actually got a lot after the server flop of Trading Paints probably 18 months ago. A lot of the paints for these cars were actually lost to history, so a lot of them probably haven't been re-uploaded by the original artists, so there's not a lot to choose from. So the ones that are slightly differing are probably more custom ones.
I can do a few flat chat ones for them. That'd be confusing as well, though.
As long as they're different colours.
Oh, we can do that. That's no problem. We see Jamie here closing that gap right down to Kyle.
The battle between Rob and Brendan is still going on here for position 10 and 11. Christopher's managed to make that move and up into 9th. Rob 10th, Brendan 11th, and Alex Freeman there in 12th. The other SP Tools car of Alex Warburton in 13.
That's quite a healthy little battle pack. They've all stayed together for the most part. Thought Thomas Freeman was going to make a move down there, but didn't quite get the car past.
All doing very similar lap times.
That must be frustrating to be in the battle pack. The easiest way to sort that out would be to pit early and find some fresh airs.
Yeah, just like on screen at the moment, it looks like Eugene's done exactly that strategy. He's had that pit stop already, been in, change of tyres, fresh set of fuel on lap number 11. So he should be up. Actually, sorry, it was a couple of laps, fair few laps ago. He was on lap number 8, he pitted.
That's a good strategy though from Eugene, because it will make a few spots with the other cars being caught. They're not being able to do lap speed, whereas Eugene should be able to go around and do his fastest sort of laps on fresh tyres.
And hopefully get that advantage towards the end of the race, providing he can look after the tyres.
Have to watch out and keep him on our radar.
The lead change has changed. Jamie McKnight has made his way into number 1, passing Kyle Stokes. We'll see if we can get a bit of a replay of that pass. Down into the Atwood bend. Down the inside there for Jamie. Kyle gives him plenty of room. Acknowledging the faster car, not much point fighting it and causing a mistake. Better to let him get on past and then stick to the bumper. Harley's sitting there right behind though.
Exactly right. Kyle could be on for a really decent result and a decent haul of points here if he stays with these two.
Both Jamie and Harley both doing 129.6s on their 132s on their last 130.2s on their last time round. Kyle's a 133, so it was a little bit slower for him that last time round. Probably gave that Jamie that little bit of a jump to catch him.
That's the thing with Jamie getting past, it will slow him down a touch, but best thing you can do now is, like we said before, just stick with them, and hopefully when the pit strategy comes into effect, he'll be right.
Pete Davison has made the move into position 7. Still keeping that car clean this race, good to see. It'll be a good position for him if he can hold it inside the top 10 tonight. This battle pack here for 10, 11, 12, 13 still going strong.
Every time I look it gets crazier and crazier just there.
A little gaggle of cars here with Brendan McCarthy, Jacob Knight, Wade Michael and Jackson Harlow back into 16th.
Another Castro car off in the background there. That was Warren Cook that time.
Bent that retro rally livery car. Oh, as you see Cameron Posey do some donuts there also. Big spin at the hairpin.
Not the ideal line through there, Cameron. That would have taken him out of that little pack there it was in, so.
And the second half of the pack starting to do their pit stops now. Lap 13 of the race. Looking to get the advantage of the undercuts and clearer air.
Definitely the way you can make advantage out of this race while the fast guys are running around at the front and haven't pitted. You can definitely go and get some clean air, some fresh tyres, and have a bit of a dash by yourself. Interesting to see when our leaders decide to pit.
Yeah, I think they'll be following each other in, no doubt, trying to keep to the same strategy.
And the way the race is, the one is in the pit lane. Who decides to drop the car first? Generally the one who gets out first and
You see the chief,
significant yield.
the chief Shane Evans is playing his usual role of getting in a little bit early. He's the king of undercut, as we see Jackson's followed him in, taken the hint from the master. Lap 14, so just one lap earlier than the halfway point. That shouldn't be too bad. Should be right for fuel burn. Tyres, a little bit of a stretch to the end, but looking after them, possibly be a good advantage for track position.
Yeah, if you're able to maximise your stint and maybe do a bit of fuel saving, you should be able to make a solid gain.
Actually, we've just seen
one lap short.
Jackson's made the jump on the Chief there in pit lane and got back out on the track in front of the Chief after coming in after him. So good pit stop there for Jackson.
It was an impressive pit stop. Jackson maybe looking to maybe short build or...
Only stopped for 16 seconds compared to Chief's 21 seconds. So yeah, a little bit of a shorter fill. Hopefully he's got the numbers right.
Felt that calculator burning in that Jim Beam car.
Looks like Harley's taken the jump and taken the pit stop. He was in the perfect position to do so. Actually, he could make the pit stop without the other two gaining the advantage, either being that he was the car in third. He's made the pit stop and the other two have been none the wiser. This will be good strategy.
If we don't see them on the next lap, then they'll be doing themselves a disservice.
Yeah, I'm not too sure. I know Jamie McKnight's known for stretching these cars out in the first stint, running them right out to the smell of an oily rag, basically, before he pulls in for a pit.
Sometimes that can work, but generally when you're racing the other guys, you've got to mirror their strategy and negate the undercut as much as possible.
I'll also be watching, make sure you get that pit stop done before the possible chance of a safety car in this race.
Because that can really ruin strategy as well. As if you get on the wrong side of that, then you can really blow as he's come in and Cole's followed in there.
Yeah, wise move. Get the pit stop done, out of the way. Perfect midway point strategy. Harley around back up through the centre of the track. See whether he pops back out on the main straight with these two pitting. Thomas Freeman still also yet to pit. Pete Davison also another one who's just pulling into pit lane now. Bradley Ratu also making his pit stop.
Harley Haber just rounding that final corner. See where he comes out in relation to Jamie McKnight and Kyle Stokes.
I really think he's going to get the jump now as both those two come
Got
out of
both of them.
Got both of them.
Napping there.
The undercut strategies work perfect for Harley. Now he's got some, got their 2 positions and out into number 1. It'll be up to Kyle and Jamie to chase him down.
They've got to get their foot down because he's just going to keep extending that lead. We know how quick Harley is at this circuit in his car.
Looks like the Chiefs moved back up to the back of Jackson, who got the jump on him in pit lane. Jackson just stuck in behind the back of Bradley, who's just come out of pit lane there, so probably a little bit slower with cold tyres, looking to make the pass. See what happens down his hairpin as Bradley covers the inside lane.
He might also be trying to fuel save, because remember he did drop a little bit earlier than Shane, so he might not be fueled to the end, but Race back here is on and willing.
Yeah, he's fighting with Brad like the fuel doesn't matter. 2 by 2. Just going to get that move done. Bradley slips in behind the bumper. Chief wasn't able to capitalise on that move and follow Jackson through.
Looks as though we've got ourselves a safety car.
Safety car out on track. This will be a smart move. We're running a virtual safety car here in this race. Not quite sure what happened to Jamie McKnight there. He's
They've called the safety car, but he's probably got his chat turned off, or so he won't be able to hear that it's gone.
So you can hear race control chatting in the background there, getting these guys sorted out. We do try and run a virtual safety car in this series. That we were going to have an actual custom safety car for the series, but that didn't quite happen. And running the iRacing safety car can sometimes cause some troubles, mainly because the iRacing safety car is configured a lot more to the NASCAR series. So
yeah, I think it's something that we could definitely control a little bit better than the iRacing one they provide. But I'm not entirely sure how that's happened there with Jamie and Harley.
yeah, the usual way around it is the safety car is called and it's a race back to the start finish line before the virtual safety is actually kicked in by the race leader at the point of crossing the start finish line. So
Exactly right, yeah.
not too sure whether Jamie's looks like he may have to pull up offline here and wait for these guys to come back around.
He's
Catch up.
actually pulled up, so yeah, he should just be able to slot back in behind Harley and between Kyle here, and
Yeah,
should be able to continue on as they were. Wouldn't it be challenging if we gave them all a Delta to run to?
makes it exciting and confusing at the same time.
More a Formula 1 style safety car in that case, but entertaining nonetheless. Bit like stadium super trucks when they run their competition caution sort of thing. It gives us the field the opportunity to grid back up and go racing again, close up some of those battle packs.
Jamie McKnight slipped back into the second position there under the virtual safety car. Race under control of Harley Haber. Guys will probably do a lap around here and get the go ahead on the main straight. I'm thinking most of the guys are back on the tail of the pack.
Seems as though they're all forming up now. Running around at the pit lane speed limit of 59 kilometers an hour. They're going to be closing up, waiting for this one to get going again. That weaving unfortunately does nothing with these virtual cars. That looks cool nonetheless.
Yeah.
Also interesting to note, there's a lot more flames in the older supercar than there are in the newer ones, so quite a treat to see the flames popping out the side.
Yeah, these ones are probably still running the higher premium race fuels compared to the current ones running E85.
Yeah, 85 adds a whole another element to the race weekend with that sugar cane fuel blend. Harley seems to have got the jump there.
You're wanting that the chief stewards would be wanting him to stay at a certain pace. Get these cars back bunched up again. Snuck away a little bit there with a bit of a gap.
Yep.
Coming here into Mike Knight corner.
Okay, so we're going green this time. Harley's at the just.
Away they go. Green,
And the
green,
field just
green.
explodes.
Tied on the battle here as they come into this corner now. There's not too much trouble. Someone out
Movers
wide.
and shakers up there.
Right, most of them have come through unharmed, no damage. Angry pack of V8s up through Moss S.
Well, it looks like we had some people running wide down there.
Frank Speeds unfortunately had to take that car back to pit lane via tow truck.
These guys will all be pretty aggressive now. They've got another shot, another bite at the cherry, so they'll be wanting to get on with it and find some places to make some passes.
Lap number 19. Over 10 more to go in this race. Jamie McKnight's got the perfect opportunity now to make the jump on Harley, but Harley slipped away with a second gap already. Obviously there wasn't enough money changing hands at pit lane to chuck some lead weight in the back of Harley's car during the last pit stop.
There wasn't. He's been able to just split the field a little bit and run away from them. Kyle attached to the back of Jamie's car here with Bradley Raphael in tow, so that battle pack is spicing up for those guys.
Big winner there is Chris in the Flat Chat racing car, come up to position 6th.
Chris has done the team a solid there by moving forward.
Yeah. Awesome job by him.
Looks like he's getting coached by that position.
Damage down the back there, possibly by, don't think it was Jay Sprout, Thomas Freeman I think. Having a bit of an off and smacking the wall, blowing motor on that Falcon. Oh, and it's just exploded too. That'll be it. It's a tow truck back to the car. Giving up the ghost.
They're no fun to drive when they've done that.
No, it doesn't work quite well.
Got to stand on the accelerator and it goes nowhere. That's a depressing thought, that one.
I think there was a saying done by little Becky. I think it put the foot on the accelerator and it makes a big bang. Just doesn't quite work.
It costs a lot of money.
It does. Throwing legs out of bed and pistons through sumps at these race car engines. Lucky this is virtual sim racing and technically it doesn't cost us a cent, but still, a hard fact, that'll be end of Thomas's race for the night. Back to pits, so it'll set him back a fair way in the pack. Bit of time there to have that engine changed.
And get that pit stop done. Bradley Ray really showing the car out. That was pretty aggressive coming out of that corner just now.
Yeah, he's really trying to gain some time here on these guys and really working it. Kyle Stokes also a little bit taily out of that turn.
Looks just like Chris has got a real battle pack on his hands back there. A few people lining up to get by in.
Alex and Rob Carmichael in a battle here. Eugene right on behind him here. Of course, Eugene took that earlier pit stop. He's actually been in for a second pit stop since, so he's up in 13. So he should be in a good position here till the end of the race. We see him come down the inside here on turn 1. Not able to make the move happen there on Alex. Alex very preoccupied with Rob in front of him.
He's definitely got a better shaped car to move forward with. Eugene, he's got to just keep his nose clean and let these two fight it out in front of him.
Jamie's able to claw back a little bit of time there on Harley, only 0.6 of a second the gap. Now Kyle sticking to the back as well in number 3. Bradley Ratu only 3 seconds behind, only 0.8 away from Kyle, putting down some real quick times. Last time round for Harley and Jamie both 29.6, is 29.9 for Kyle Stokes and a 30.6 for Bradley.
That's exactly what Kyle had to do, is just sit to the back of these two, and if they battle and he happens to come out the victor, I'm sure he'll be happy with that result.
Not too sure what happened to Rob Carmichael. He's been jumped back. Him and Alex were battling there for a second, and been dropped back to 16th position. Must have been a bit of a mistake and an off track there. It's cost him some time.
Yeah, they were a few positions higher than they currently are, so that's a bit mystifying, that one.
Rob's got a bit of damage to the back wing of that car, may possibly backed it into a wall.
Definitely easy to lose the car around this circuit, so that's definitely a possibility. We've seen it happen a couple of times tonight.
23 laps down this 30 lap race. Race number 2 of round 3, the 2018 Retro Sprint Series here on the Wheelybins Mayhem Republic. Hope you're enjoying tonight's race broadcast. Want more information on this series or any of our other series, check us out on our website, the wheelybinsmayhemrepublic.com. Also, if you're...
Great.
You're right. You go ahead.
Oh, it's definitely a great series to be a part of, and it's run extremely well by the entire Wheelybins team, so get on board and join up and come race with us and have you here on the broadcast as well.
Cameron's putting a little bit of pressure onto your teammate Chris there at the moment. Oh, has he just got lost? That was commentator's curse for sure. As I mentioned his name, he got loose coming out of that hairpin and lost a bit of time. Shane the Chief Evans has made the pass on Pete Davo power machine.
He'll need to put his foot down and get flat chat right out of there because he's slipping too far back for my liking.
Sometimes a race finish is better than a race result.
I don't know. I see it from the other angle. to finish first you need to finish. So that is probably the better way to look at it. You see the top three, they're really stuck together with glue at the moment. They just aren't leaving each other alone.
No, they're all putting very similar lap times down. Great racing. Jamie's just a little bit too far away to make a move on any of these corners. Just 0.6 of a second between them. Kyle's looking quite content there in third, just not wanting to obviously give that position up. Bradley Ratu's dropped back a few seconds, now back in fourth position. Lost a bit of time. While we're speaking about Jamie, big thank you to him and the team at West End Mazda, including Adam Dodd, for putting some sponsorship money on the line for this event, sponsoring our West End Mazda Pole Winners Award. And if Harley keeps up this form, that award will be going to him tonight. $10 worth of iRacing credits. That'll make it 3 in a row for him, the hat trick.
I'm sure Jamie wants to win those ones himself, but it's probably just easy when he can throw them to Harley up the road there. Looks like Bradley Radu and Jacob Knight have got themselves locked into a bit of a battle, which looks to be intensifying.
Bradley dropped back a little bit, and Jacob's been running some really consistent laps and made some time on him as well, which has now got him in this little predicament of a battle pack. Bradley's not going to want to drop away from fourth position, that's for sure, but Jacob's really going to want to make a move, take some more points up the championship. We're getting into fourth position.
Yeah, he's definitely going to want to throw that Falcon in there everywhere he's got an opportunity and get that move done. If you can maybe force the driver in front to make a mistake, that's an easy way to get the pass done, but the other way is just to find a place where you can brake a little bit deeper and see if you can't get the move done that way.
Cameron now in a little bit of trouble from the Chief Shane Evans, who's moved up into 8th. Cameron steps wide out onto the gravel. Jane's got a great run out of that corner, is chasing him down the straight now. He'll try and make the move here on the first turn. Cameron covers that inside line. Can make it difficult to get that turn in on the corner. The Chief's right up on his bumper.
Yeah, he's definitely going to be on the right side of the correct side of the track.
Cameron was really sideways there, right on the limit of traction. Sideways again through Moss S. Covering that inside corner can take its toll off the car, especially off the front tyres, understeering in mid-corner speed.
Yeah, that corner being the way it is, you don't really get a great benefit from running up the inside line. It's probably better to run wider and use the road on the side of the hill there.
Yeah, you're right, and if someone wants to dive down the inside, then hopefully you've got that mid-corner speed to make that pass move back again down the straight from your corner exit.
Sometimes I've seen a few drivers compromise that corner, and it really does go to show at the hairpin when they're susceptible to the car behind. A massive moment for Kyle Stokes just now. No, he's just running a different line there.
He has lost a little bit of contact there with Jamie. He's slipped away up the road a little bit. Bradley and Jacob still battling it out back here. Real tight racing here.
That battle with Bradley Rasher and Jacob Knight is still close. They're just almost door to door at the moment.
Bradley's really wanting to cover that inside line. Jacob's down the outside now. This is where the inside lane disadvantage for mid-corner speed. Jacob will pick up that corner exit but can't really capitalise on that short little straight.
Needs to just send in the invoice and say I'm having that possession. Move out of the way, buddy.
Pretty much. It's going to be, we're on lap 27. He's going to want to get the job done. We see him step and intimidate down the inside there now. Trying to force a mistake. Brad steps wide, but inside corner for the next turn. And he get the drive out of this corner. Right up on his bumper again. This next corner is where he's going to want to get the drive down the main straight. Trying to force a mistake. Jacobs had the mistake. Stepped wide out onto the green mat. Dropped him back a little bit. Not going to have the pace down the straight, I don't think, to make the move on first turn.
If he gets right in the toe, he'll stay close enough to have another go next lap, but that gap's opened up far too much for anything to happen over the course of this lap.
As we see, Cameron Povey's also made the move away from Shane Evans. Jackson's out there on his own at the moment in P6. Jacob Knight still fighting with Bradley. Out the front though, Jamie McKnight and Harley. Still 0.6 between them. These boys are they're keeping it even. Both their lap times very tied up. Wonder if Jamie's going to make a bit of a run here in the final 2 laps. 28, 30 lap race here. He's got 2 more laps to do it in.
If you're in Jamie's car, you've got to make a run. You've got to have a dive. You've got to be there to throw the car at Harley, because the worst thing you can do is stay second, but the benefit is probably getting the win.
Jamie's tyres are also a lap younger than Harley's, so pitting on lap 15, Harley was lap 14, so it's a possibility that Jamie could have a little bit more rubber under him, but Harley's got... We remember where they were when they came out of the pit lane. They were a fair way back from Harley. Exactly.
Imagine if they didn't lose that.
Exactly, he's made a good gain on him. So Harley's been dominant at this track tonight, sealing up the pole position, the first place position for the first race, and looking to take number 1 here in the second race as well. Put some more dominance on this series. He is currently leading the points championship.
Oh, Kyle Knight's... Is he going to the lane voluntarily, or did he fall back?
Is that with Kyle and Jacob and Bradley?
Kyle's just had himself a spin back there and pulled himself out of the race, that one. That elevates Jacob, who's got round Bradley now into P3.
Yeah, great race for Jacob tonight. Managed to make that pass there on Bradley. That unfortunate spin there for Kyle sent him back to the pits, and Jacob's going to pick up 3rd position points if he holds this out for the rest of the race. Unfortunate for Kyle. Kyle's had a great race this time, getting pole position, starting the race well.
Absolutely, he just needed to come home and consolidate. We see Harley and Jamie cross the line, starting their final lap.
Will we see Jamie try and make the pass on Harley? I think he's back a little bit too far, still 0.6 of a second. And really need to see
a little bit too far, but if he needs to take his braking markers that little bit further every time this lap to have a chance of catching Harley, but also to have a chance to throw a pass at him.
Yeah, Jamie's hard on the accelerator coming out of the hairpin. Wheel spin everywhere, didn't get a good run down this straight.
He'll be kicking himself about that. He needs to have a dive here. He needs to give Harley a challenge.
He's running out of opportunities, only a couple of more corners to go.
Harley's got that car nice and stable on exit, so he's running running a clean race, keeping the gap back to Jamie nice and close.
Yeah, he's got the balance on that car set really well. No hints of understeer. Not a lot of oversteer on acceleration. Great balance and a great win. Congratulations to Harley Haber, winner of race number 2, round number 3 here today. Fantastic effort from him. Jamie McKnight taking out the number 2 position. Jacob Knight in number 3, great win, great position for him. Big celebratory donuts there from Harley. Congratulations to him. Just shoot over and we'll catch up with him on the race chat. G'day guys, you got Daniel and Matt in the commentary box. Awesome race. Harley, number 1 position, pole position, first race win, second race win, dominant tonight, mate.
Yeah, mate, yeah, 100%. Very lucky tonight, I think. Yeah, a lot of research has paid off as to why I've been losing races in the past, and I nailed the strategy in that second race, and yeah, car was really good, and yeah, that's ultimately why I was able to win both races.
A fantastic effort, and that makes it 3 for 3 also in the End Mazda Pole Sitters Award, so congratulations on that. Another $10 worth of iRacing credits coming your way.
Yeah, thanks Dan, thank you Wheelybins, thank you to all the admins of course for putting on the show and you know, making this all happen, so yeah, very appreciative, thank you very much.
Jamie McKnight there, number 2, couldn't quite get the move in the end there on Harley, but it's a great race nevertheless.
Yeah, thanks Dan, sorry about that. It was a really good race. I think I got the fastest lap of the race actually, so I certainly had the pace. I can't remember where I started, but it was about 9th or 10th or something, so I know me and Harley were close together where we started. It took a little while to get through and Cole made a good break, but yeah, Harley is always there or thereabouts, and I'm always close, so we always have a good battle. I was thinking about chucking it up the inside on that second last lap at the hairpin, but I couldn't have done it without guaranteeing I couldn't take him out, and I didn't want to do that, so I just pulled out of it. But congratulations to him. I put plenty of pressure on him, and he didn't buckle tonight, so next week I'll get him.
Thank you very much. We were expecting a move there on that second last lap, but no, great race nevertheless. Jacob Knight, awesome race for you. Managed to make it up into 3rd position tonight.
Yeah, managed to make it home up in 3rd. Awesome battles there along with Bradley. Really sucks for Cole there, spinning in the closing stages of the race, but 3rd place, that's good, I'll take it.
Great racing by everyone, and we'll just making it into the top 10 tonight. Eugene Blurton, always got something to say, mate. How was your race tonight?
Yeah, pretty good, mate. I think gridded up.
Sorry, was that directed at me? It's really laggy at the moment.
First lap, and then, but you know, changed my pit strategy, and I got up to 10th.
Fantastic race by everybody, and thank you very much for the entertaining evening. And that's it once again, Matt. We've got another one in the can.
Another great race under our belts, and great to see Harley, Jamie and Jacob take out the top 3 positions. Great racing from everyone through the pack. It was a crazy race, that one, compared to the first one, so be good to see how it all plays out in championship land.
Yeah, precisely. We'll get the points that's all done up and see how things pan out in the championship. It'll be very interesting. I think Harley's still going to be putting the stamp on this championship. He's sort of running away with it a little bit, but anyway, that's the way it is. He's been putting some hard races in and done some great laps, so he well and truly deserves it.
He absolutely does. You saw in that race how dominant he was, so it's great to see Harley putting the effort in and you know, putting his stamp of authority on this championship.
Our next event's going to be a good one. It's Silverstone Historic GP. Awesome track for these cars around Silverstone, so I hope you can join us for that one. It's going to be a big race there. A bit long, high speed, some tight corners, some curbs, which these cars tend to like curbs, so that should put on some good racing.
Yeah, it's a challenging circuit, the Silverstone one, so we'll be loving these cars at that circuit on Saturday and hoping to see a few more surprise race winners, or probably see Harley take another one, or Jamie try and fight for another one.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. Alright, well, thank you for joining me in the commentary box tonight, Matt. It's been a pleasure once again, and look forward to seeing you again for the next series.
No worries, Dan. We'll see you then. Thanks for the broadcast and putting it all together.
Not a problem, and a big thank you to you for watching here on Wheelybins TV. We hope you've enjoyed tonight's racing. Big thank you to our sponsors for the series, Ryno Hire, Park Lane Jewellry with Kirrilee, Limelight Motorsport and End Mazda. Don't forget you can check those sponsors out on our website via their links. That's Wheelybins Mayhem Republic.com, and you can find more information about us, our series, how you can join us, get into iRacing. There's setups for some of the cars as well available to anybody who wishes to have a go at these V8 supercars, the older FG Falcons, so get involved, you will enjoy it. Big thank you to watching. I'm Daniel Cox and this has been Wheelybins TV for the Wheelybins Mayhem Republic. We hope you've enjoyed tonight's racing and we'll see you again next time.